Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I finally decided to start a Booktube account. A little bit about me, my name is Jalen. I'm an attorney in Phoenix, Arizona, and in my free time, my number one hobby is reading. As most Booktubers do, I decided to start with the Booktube Newbie Tag, and so let's get into it. The first question is, why did you start this channel? I've been on Bookstagram since September now, and I've been wanting to start a Booktube account, and I was kind of debating, going back and forth, and I decided to finally just do it and give it a shot, and if it sucks, but we'll see. I started a Bookstagram account almost a year ago now, in which I post books and I pair them with cool beer cans and wine bottles that kind of match either the title of the book or the aesthetic of the cover art or something similar. And I find it a fun way to just kind of pair two things that I really enjoy. I enjoy writing reviews of books and posting on there, but I don't really get that much discussion out of Bookstagram. It's kind of more so just the pictures and writing a review. But I wanted another outlet to basically talk about books, and I go to 2 book clubs, which is one way to do that, but I figured this is a way I could do it on a recurring basis and talk about the books that I'm loving or hating and just kind of tell you all my thoughts if you care to listen, which I hope you do. Question number 2 is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? I don't know if like drinking beer is something original, but I'll take it. Question number 3, what are you most excited for about this new channel? Kind of like I said before, I'm really excited to, talk about books on here to my camera and you all, and hopefully meet some new people outside of Bookstagram and, make further connections in the book community and just find more people that like the books I do and talk about them even more. Question number 4, why do you love reading? I love reading because books are amazing and I feel like you kind of get a connection with characters and plot in this medium more so than many others. I think movies and television and games kind of all have like their own, benefits. And I just find myself more drawn to, the written word, I guess. I've found stories that have moved me and I've learned a lot through reading. And I think after the hell that was law school and reading, very dull material, now that I get to read for fun and read things that I enjoy, I think I like it even more. So I think that's another perk too. Question number 5, what book or series got you into reading? So I remember vividly when I was in, I think, first grade, like the first series I ever got hooked on was the Magic Treehouse series. And then, I further went into Goosebumps, which I loved. And then like when I was older, I started reading Fear Street. So like R.L. Stine was my favorite when I was younger. And then I started getting into like Stephen King as early as like early middle school, which probably wasn't smart to read. Like I remember, I think it was 6th grade, I was reading Cell by Stephen King, and that's like a terrifyingly gory book. But I guess that's kind of a clear indication that I've loved scary shit for like my whole life. And I guess most recently, after I started law school, kind of like near the end of undergrad and beginning of law school, I didn't really have like the headspace or time really to read. I was reading, dull stuff all day and I just wanted to like veg out and watch TV shows or movies. But I remember going to Powell's Books in Portland and I picked up a couple books, one of them being The Secret History by Donna Tartt, and that completely changed the game for me. And ever since then, I've been, a voracious reader. I started a Bookstagram account kind of shortly after because I had started posting about books on my personal account. And so I have to definitely credit The Secret History, and then later Harry Potter, but screw J.K. Rowling, we don't talk about her. But Harry Potter itself was another thing that really got me into reading again. I had read the first 4 books when I was younger, for some reason stopped. I watched the movies and I just never got back into it. And I was like, you know what, how can I be a reader if I haven't read Harry Potter? And so I did it and I was blown away, like most are. And yeah, so I definitely credit both Donna Tartt and Harry Potter for getting me back into reading. Question number 6, what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? I think the main question is, when does this start feeling normal? Because looking at this camera lens and like talking is feeling weird. My neck is hella red because I'm nervous to talk to the camera. I don't know why, but I get hives and it's a dead giveaway. So I'm just gonna keep it. And also, like, when do you start getting into the swing of things? Because I feel like I haven't even edited a video yet as of right now, but I'm wondering how time consuming it's gonna be, but I guess we'll see. Question number 7, what challenges do you think starting a Booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? I think for me, the hardest thing is going to be, getting used to talking to a camera because I kind of am camera shy. And also, kind of learning the ropes of like editing and making sure I'm posting consistent content because I'm pretty busy in my job right now. And I'm just hoping I can balance, everything and make sure I pump out consistent content, because I have many books I want to talk about, and I want to just keep it coming. I just want to make sure I have time to do it all. Question number 8, when did you start reading? I started reading like very, very, very young. I remember when I was younger, I always used to have a book with me. Like whenever we go to like a store, I remember I would bring a book with me, and like at Target and stuff, or like Walmart in the garden center where they have like those lounge chairs, I would like sit and read. And so I just remember always, trying to read whenever I could. Question number 9, where do you read? I read almost anywhere. Right now in quarantine, I'm doing a lot of reading inside because it's hot as balls in Arizona. So I'm either inside, I'm on my patio or in my yard reading when it's nice out, or I'm in like the pool. I have a Kindle Oasis. That's awesome because it's waterproof, and so I can go in the pool and read and stay cool, which is also nice. So I read anywhere, and before quarantine, sometimes I'd go to restaurants and read, or beer bars and just grab a pint and read, which is also fun. And question number 10, this last question, what kind of books do you like to read? So I read a lot of literary and contemporary fiction. I read the occasional mystery or thriller, even though I've been having a bad time with those lately. I also dabble in horror, which I really like when it's executed well. Yeah, so I kind of dabble in everything. I read some nonfiction too. I'm trying to make it a goal of mine to read more nonfiction. I think a good way for me to kind of explain what kind of books I like, I have a stack of my 6 favorite books that I've read this year, and I'll probably go into them more in a future video, but I would just briefly mention them as some of my favorites this year so you can kind of get a feel of what I like. My favorite book of the year is definitely Real Life by Brandon Taylor. This book is phenomenal. I know a lot of booktubers talk about this, and it's been all over Bookstagram, but if there's one book you read this year, I really, 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 really highly, very much recommend this book. Another book that I really loved that's coming out in August is Luster by Raven Leilani. This is another phenomenal debut novel, like Real Life, and this is one that I'm going to be pushing into everyone's hands in August because it's just incredible, and I think everyone should read it. Another favorite of mine is Bunny by Mona Awad. This kind of hits like exactly what I love. It's kind of literary. Has some horror elements, there's some gore, but I was also really moved by this book because it touches on some really dark themes of like loneliness and isolation, and I just thought it was expertly done. For anyone that's like looking for a more literary horror novel, this is your book. This is another great book that I read this year. It's In the Dream House by Carmen Machado. This is a stunning memoir, probably the best one I've ever read. She uses each essay to examine an abusive relationship she was in with another woman, and also discusses the missing stories of queer people and domestic abuse in those relationships, and she kind of sheds light on that and tells her story in a brilliant way that also kind of has some horror elements, and it's just mind-blowing. And I highly recommend this one as well. This book, Hurricane Season by Fernanda Melchor. It is one of the darkest, heaviest books I've ever read, but it was also one of the most rewarding. And it's too much to discuss right now, but I highly recommend it I know she's been compared to Cormac McCarthy and Truman Capote. It's not a true crime novel per se, like In Cold Blood, but she holds nothing back with describing violence and very dark issues, and it's stunning and it's hard, and I think some of the best books are the more difficult ones to get through, and I'll never forget this book. Finally, I really loved Ottessa Moshfegh's newest. This is kind of Ottessa Moshfegh's take on a murder mystery, but you quickly realize that it's not kind of, I don't know, I don't want to give anything away, but I usually don't like unreliable narrator stories, and that's not a spoiler, it tells you in the synopsis. But this was perfectly done in that department, and I was shocked at how much I liked it, because I've ranted a couple times about how much I hate unreliable narrator stories, but she absolutely kills it with this book, and I highly recommend this one as well. So yeah, that's kind of an overview of some of the books that I've loved this year and what I generally look for in titles. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe if you want to talk about books with me. I really appreciate it. So yeah, thank you again. Cheers.